I'm Michael Cast, also known as the Dirty Hippie, and this is the inaugural episode of the Dirty Hippie Says. Life is about having fun. It's about the journey and how we're going to enjoy that journey, and part of that is maintaining good health, not only for our body but for our mind and our spirit. So the Dirty Hippie Says, today we're going to talk about yoga and the benefits of yoga. And with me is Silvia Morrison. Hey, Silvia.
Hey, Michael.
We've known each other for what? A while.
A while, yeah.
Off and on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we don't hang out. But
No.
you were the first person I thought of when I thought of yoga.
Awesome. I'm glad you did.
So tell me a little bit about your yoga journey.
Well, it started, I was having some health issues when I was in my early 30s. So I would be having to get up usually around 4 or 5 in the morning because I had horrible upper back pain.
Oh.
And I'd have to walk around and stretch, like it was very painful. I eventually managed to figure out that if I could sleep upright, sitting up for the last 3 or 4 hours of my sleep, I'd be okay. So, and I did that for years and years. And I had gone to like massage therapy, acupuncture, physio. They couldn't figure out what it was, and none of that actually helped, except that my massage therapist told me, why don't you do some yoga? And so at the time I was running the cafe at Books and Company, and
That's right.
that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a tough job.
It is. You're on your feet
We're
all day long.
all day
Yeah.
long, right? So, anyway, so she was like, try, this one's a really good video, because they still have VHS back then. And it was like Rodney Yee's AM PM yoga. So I just did sometimes twice a day, usually just once, 20 minutes, using his video, and that decreased it probably by 75%, I would say, the pain. That really helped with it, but I was increasingly getting some other problems too. I didn't know at the time they were related. And eventually, anyway, it was found out that I had this autoimmune issue called ankylosing spondylitis.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's like a spinal arthritis. It's actually usually in men. At least it's worse in men. And so what's happening is during the night, your vertebrae is like forming these little crystals. They're coming together and fusing your vertebrae together.
So just at night?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
it was weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. I think I agree with Gabor Mate that much of autoimmune issues that come up are because of stress. And I was having a lot of stress in my life at the time. And so then it flared up. So, but the yoga had really helped. And then eventually, because it had helped so much, and because part of my job, one of my jobs as well, was as a care aide for the brain injury group, I was like, wow, there's so many people that could really benefit here from just the physical aspect of yoga, because at that time, that's all I was practicing, just the physical. So that's when I decided to take a yoga teacher training, and I did that here in Prince George through Chinook Yoga. They were doing their teacher training through, it's called Soya, South Okanagan Yoga Academy, and it was very thorough, very good. And that's where I took my first 200-hour teacher training. And yeah, I loved it. It was great. And from there, in 2014, then I wanted to do a little bit more, get into yoga therapy. And so I went to India.
I was going to ask
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you, because you hear about a lot of yoga instructors going to India to
Yeah.
learn. So you went to India. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to India. I should say back up. So before I went to India, I had made the changes I needed to in my life so that I wasn't so stressed out. And then with the yoga, like I've honestly had zero issues since with the ankylosing spondylitis. And that had actually caused me a lot of pain in one of my SI joints. I actually got arthritis in my eye.
In your eye.
In my eye.
Okay.
Can you believe that?
No, I do believe it, but I'm like, I've never heard of it.
No.
Wow.
Who knew? But this affects different organs as well. Like it's an arthritis that will affect different organs.
So soft tissue, like a soft tissue arthritis.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah. So I went to India, and teacher training very different, but everything was a great experience. And I even milked a cow on the ashram. And
India's on my bucket list, but my lovely muse is not too enthused about going to India. Yeah.
That's
so now,
understandable.
I see. I didn't know that you could. So you could do your 200 hours you did here in Prince George.
Yeah, I did the 200 hours,
That's
and then I
great.
did 300 hours in India.
Yeah. How long did you stay there?
Well, I traveled with a friend, and we went for just under 3 months, but the yoga teacher training was 1 month. Yeah. So, and that was in an ashram.
What's an
And
ashram?
It's just sort of a self-contained area where you practice yoga, or I'm sure there's other things too, but yeah. So, yeah, it was Paramanand Institute of Science and Yoga or something like that.
My thing is with with ancient, philosophies, and I mean, they seem to be working, right? You know what I mean? Like they seem to be working. So who am I to say that, oh, Western medicine is far superior? I'm like, dude, these have been working for like millennia, right?
Well, for sure. I mean, and it's the same like with Chinese medicine, but I like the fusion with the Western ideal, right? Because I would say I found in India there wasn't much emphasis on modifying poses for different body types or or health issues. So it was just like, this is the way you do it. And so I like the fact that in Western yoga styles, you're like, no, not everybody's body is the same.
We're going to talk about
that. Everybody has different issues, and you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
As a teacher, it's hard. Like, normally when you go into a studio, you would fill out, any health concerns and stuff like that. So you might take a look at that. But if you've got like 20 people in your class, and you're like, okay, I know this person has back issues. I don't know what back issues, but that might come up. And so, you've got that in the back of the head, but you still don't know. Like, I'll give you an example. Actually, this last week when I taught a class, I knew that there was someone that had back issues, and she came up to me later and was just asking for some more information because she had a compressed disc. And I was like, okay. But I'm not a medical doctor, right? So, I like to go home and research what kind of postures or things that she should not do with a compressed disc. And I found that, okay, you don't want to do forward folds, for instance, because that compresses your spine. You don't want to do anything that compresses your spine, see? And so these are good things to know, right? And the students teach me in that respect. Also, having done a lot of chair yoga at the brain injury group as well, I got as much out of it as the students got out of it, because they're telling me, I'm finding, okay, yeah, you don't want to, a lot of people can't put their head below their heart, like doing inversions and stuff.
Chair yoga.
Yeah, chair yoga. We can do
Let's
some
try.
of that too.
Well, we'll get that.
Yeah.
And do you have your own studio, or are you with a studio here in
No,
French George?
I'm teaching at Sunset Studio. They've got 2 locations, one downtown in the Spruce Capitol building, and then one where that Krell Wellness Center is, just behind Spruce Land.
Yeah.
So, and I teach warm, relax, and stretch on Wednesday nights. So, pretty easygoing. It's a warm class, which is especially nice during the winter.
During the winter.
Yeah.
When we were talking before we started here about misconceptions, and so that sort of rolls into your sharing about mixing Western and Eastern and philosophies, and so like when I look at a video and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's no way I could ever do that. How do you look some of those poses where they're stretched way up this way or balancing and how do you help people push through those misconceptions, or sometimes, I mean, for me it's probably just an excuse, but for other people it's a real concern about how I can't possibly do that. I'm too old, I'm too inflexible, I have too much pain, I have all those are valid reasons. At the same time, how do you get past it?
Well, that's exactly why you should do it. That's why. But you don't start off doing like advanced poses, because that's just going to deter you, and you're not going to be able to. You just have to work within your capabilities. And in yoga, like Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, which is the ancient text, one of the ancient texts that they go by, you're supposed to be able to sit in a pose with ease. So even if the teacher is giving you modifications for coming into wanting to go a little bit further or more intense, don't just do that. Do where it feels like you are at ease in the pose, and you want to start with beginners classes or slower classes. And even if you've gone to yoga once, there's so many different teachers and different types of classes that I just encourage people to try a variety and find which one really suits what they need and what they like and which teacher they like.
I remember I took at the Y. I took a yoga class at the Y, and there was always my vanity is like, oh, they're gonna see. I was so focused on what I was doing, I didn't look at anybody else.
No.
So
you
I
don't.
thought, wow, nobody else was looking at me.
No, that's right.
It's like
That's
dancing.
right.
I don't notice other people dancing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a very personal thing. So even though you've sort of got this community energy around you, everybody is focused on their own practice. And I like to say that a lot in my classes, like, this is your practice. It's not like I'm teaching it, but it's your practice. So, like, if a pose isn't working for you, then just come out of it. Maybe do a different stretch that's feeling good for you right now. You know?
Okay, so if, yeah, like you said, you should be able to hold the pose with ease.
Yeah.
Right? And then, but if you can't, then you can switch to a different pose. Is there a flow into, so yes, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, so if I say I can't do that right now, today,
Yeah.
right, hold that for that long, I can just sit and relax and then wait for the next pose?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's
You
okay.
can do that. Yeah.
So the benefits, so we know it helped you with yours. So the overall benefits for the body are, I mean, it's obvious,
Yeah.
right? There's
Yeah.
more flexibility, weight loss.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
I know when I the first time I'd done it, I was incredibly surprised. Normally, like a regular workout, if you're biking or lifting weights or whatever, I wouldn't hurt until the next day.
yeah.
Right? Or I wouldn't feel as if the muscles were worked. With yoga, it was like 2 hours later. I was like, oh, I have done something. I didn't know that I had a muscle there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it was, but it wasn't painful. It wasn't painful. So I don't want to give people the idea that it was painful.
Yeah.
It felt good. It felt like I had done some stuff, right?
Right.
So there's
Yeah.
the physical part, stretching. You're more flexible.
Yeah.
Less
yeah.
pain.
Range of motion, balance. These are all.
I'm getting the peace sign. I'm getting the 2 minutes from my technical director. I didn't realize that we were this far into it. So we got 2
wow.
minutes.
Okay.
So we know we're going to try some poses here, and we'll see if you can. This is it. This is all you got to work
Great.
with.
That's
right?
awesome. No, that's so great.
And so, but I want to talk a little bit about this spirit, like quickly touch on the spiritual and the mental. So did you find, you said you cleared off some of that stress out of your life prior to going to India.
Yeah.
Did the yoga, did your practice and when you were doing it, did that help did it help lessen the stress as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And part of my yoga journey was also meditation. Super key. You might not even think it's working, but it is working, because all of a sudden you might find yourself in a stressful situation, maybe in traffic or something, and it'll just be like, whatever.
So we're going to try some poses.
All right, yeah.
Let's do some chair poses first.
Let's do
so
some chair poses.
You know what? I'm going to say, through the magic of video, through the magic of TV, we've moved the table out of the way, and we're going to do some chair yoga.
Chair yoga. Yeah.
Okay.
All
I'm ready.
All right.
So these are something for people that maybe it's a challenge to get up and down off the floor.
Up and down off the floor. Maybe you can't put weight bearing on one or both of your legs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe you've got some dizziness.
Oh,
Lots
all right.
of reasons,
Yeah.
or you want to do it in the office. Big part of yoga is keeping the spine limber. And
I'm mimicking. I'm trying to stay.
So we're going to do a seated cat-cow. So you want to move a little bit further.
Okay.
In front, placing your hands onto your knees. And then on the exhale, you're going to round your back and feel that navel come in towards the spine. You're going to feel those shoulder blades press apart a bit.
Okay.
On the inhale, we're going to scoop ourselves up, hearts up. Feel those upper arm bones towards the back, and then just keep doing that, just linking that movement with the breath.
Okay. So.
And that's just keeping your spine nice and mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Going
So
that
in
way.
through the nose, or does it matter? Yeah.
Usually in yoga it is through the nose.
Okay. So when we breathe in.
So exhale, or rounding the spine. Feel that navel come in towards the spine. Inhale. Upper arm bones to the back. Hearts and gaze forward. And then you can feel the shoulder blades come apart with the exhale. Inhale, they're coming together. So that's a good one. So, and then we'll just come back to center.
Oh, I feel that in my solar plexus, right?
Okay,
oh,
yeah.
Tight. Whoa.
Oh, right. And then,
okay, yeah.
you know, you were talking about your hips. So lift that leg up and rotate it around.
Oh. So do I want to
sit on the edge?
Right on the edge?
Yeah.
Okay. Straight back, right?
Yeah.
That's difficult for me, but so like okay, so here.
Lifting up.
Yeah.
And so we're just getting a range of motion in.
So I want to do I want to try and keep my cuz I'm twisting. So do I want to try and stay straight?
Yeah.
And I don't have to go that high, do I?
No, you don't.
It just
wherever
I'm comfortable.
Wherever
because
you're
I can feel myself cramping.
Okay.
In the, so just I told you we didn't have much to work with.
Yeah.
Okay, so here. See, I can only do a little bit.
Yeah.
But if I continue that.
Yeah. You'll get more range of motion.
More. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know like what your availability is to.
It'll take a little bit to get it up there.
Yeah. But there you go. That's a really good.
I can feel
opener.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So straight.
Yeah, and you can just stay like that, or you could even go into a forward fold. So inhaling a nice straight spine, and then as you exhale, you can come forward, and you're gonna just to wherever you start to feel that intensity again, just wherever, you know, I usually say just to wherever that edge is that you feel like you're getting a good stretch, but you're not going into any pinching or.
I feel a good stretch. This I've done before. This I just do like it's one
naturally.
of the. I wonder, is it so yoga is this something our body intuitively knows how to do?
I think so.
Do you think we were
because you look at
just programmed or however whatever that is?
You look at babies, and when they first sit up, they are straight.
Yeah.
They are straight. And they've got lots of flexibility. And we've got more flexibility than we think. Like they say when they put you under anesthetic that they can just move you any which way. And so a lot of it is in the mind. And so breathing into something and willing your breath to help relax those muscles, like to ease up, is really helpful. Forward folds are always great, like coming into a wide stance forward fold or wide seated forward fold. So inhaling straight spine, and then exhaling you can come down, and you can just come down onto your arms, or you can just let yourself drop. This is a great lower back release.
See, I don't feel that in my lower back. I feel it here.
Yeah.
Is that so? Is there if I'm doing it incorrectly, or is there? I know there's correct ways to do it and incorrect maybe.
Well,
so keep the back
everything's connected. So you probably have a tight psoas, and your psoas muscles attached.
Yeah, sorry.
Sore ass.
Okay.
So you're tight. Your muscle, your psoas muscle, attaches to the back lower vertebrae, and then it comes around the hips and runs down.
Yeah. So that's
here.
where I feel it in here.
Yeah. So so that's stuff to work on.
So breathe in, and then. Oh. I felt it there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I shouldn't make move so quick.
One of my I love twists a lot. So You could cross your leg over. If you can't cross your leg, you don't need to. Just put the opposite hand on the opposite knee. Your right hand comes behind you. Inhale, a straight spine. Exhale, and you start to twist over towards the right here this time, from the belly first, then the chest, shoulders, neck, and head.
Okay.
And then I usually like to tell people, give your eyes a little stretch too, because we don't stretch out our eyes very much, and that's healthy for them.
So straight. So there's where I have a rather, I mean, my gut gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
So here, and then so this opposite arm, reach back. Do I hold the chair?
You can hold onto the arm, you can hold onto the back, you can put your fingers just behind you.
We're getting to peace again from
Okay.
the technical director.
All right.
So, and then start with the stomach
Yeah.
and the chest, the head, neck, the head, and now my eyes. I can feel that here.
Yeah.
Here, I
Little
can
bit
feel
in
it
there.
actually
Yeah.
all over. That's great.
It's a nice reset for your spine too, to have those.
Wow.
Oh, there's so many like.
And
just-
did you when you so with your back,
Yeah.
you had the pain.
Yeah.
Did you find that you were like, I'm really tight. I know
Yeah.
that I'm really tight. Were you, when you started this yoga thing, were you really tight as well?
Not in all aspects.
Yeah.
Like I've always sat cross-legged since I was a child, so
Yeah.
that's never been an issue for me. But with the back, yes. So doing a simple pose like on my back, bringing my knees into the chest and trying, I could not bring my head to my knees because it was just too painful,
In
because
here.
my issue was in the thoracic and cervical spine. So so yeah,
Cool.
that's completely different now.
So do you when you're instructing, do you have some students that sit in the chair that only do chair yoga, or do you have all of your
not
stu-
in
no?
this.
Yeah.
They would be specific classes, so
Oh,
it would have
okay.
to be a chair
Yeah.
yoga class.
And do they have those?
They do. They're usually specially.
So if they get
like-
enough,
Yeah,
if
if they get enough
demand,
interest
yeah.
into
Okay.
maybe like a 6-week
Yeah.
one, then coming into that. But otherwise, yeah, right now I'm just teaching on the mat, but often with props and stuff. So bolster, some blocks, straps, blanket. Yeah, it ranges the things you can do to help.
Help out. And that's at Sunset Yoga.
Yeah, Sunset Studio in there.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Hey, Michael, thanks.
Yeah,
it was a
this was
pleasure.
great.
It
This
great
was
to
fun.
reconnect.
And maybe we can do it again.
yeah,
Maybe not.
well, maybe
We'll
you
see.
should come to one of my classes,
Yeah.
and then we can talk about it.
I'll take a look at
Yeah.
it. Thanks so
Okay.
much, Silvia.
You're welcome. Namaste.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Dirty Hippie Says. Don't forget your positive and gratitude. Positive, something positive about yourself. Gratitude, something you're grateful for on the outside of yourself. And share it with as many people as you can. You can follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Just look for The Dirty Hippie. This is The Dirty Hippie Says.